We remember the big ones, even if we weren't around for them. 1906, San Francisco. 1964, Prince William Sound, Alaska. 1994, Northridge, California. In Pennsylvania, big earthquakes are rare. The biggest, 5.2 in 1998, but PA has its fair share of little ones. Since the beginning of 2015, there have been 12 earthquakes in the Commonwealth, none larger than magnitude 2.6. Most are so minor, you wouldn't even notice them, but the Pennsylvania State Seismic Network doesn't miss much.
With our network, we feel like we can detect and locate any seismic event that's a magnitude 2 or larger.
Andrew Nyblade is a professor of geosciences at Penn State. He led the team that installed the network.
There's actually 3 separate sensors in each one of these canisters.
It started in 2006 as a way for the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources to get a better read on earthquake activity.
There is natural seismicity in Pennsylvania. There's 2 areas where earthquakes have occurred historically. One is in the southeastern part of the state, particularly in the Lancaster-Reading area, and then also up around Erie, along the border between Ohio and Pennsylvania in the northwestern part of the state.
In 2015, the network expanded, and so did its focus.
The expansion in 2015 came about because of the increased activities in oil and gas exploration, fracking in particular, the need or the interest in expanding the number of wastewater disposal wells within the Commonwealth.
The DCNR wanted a way to track what is known as induced seismicity, or earthquakes caused by human activity.
Oklahoma in particular, Texas, Kansas, Ohio now, there have been a fair number of seismic events that have been induced by oil and gas activity, whether it's fracking or wastewater injection. The concern here is that as oil and gas activity further develops in Pennsylvania, in particular as more disposal wells are permitted and come online, that there could be a ramp up in induced seismicity within Pennsylvania.
According to the EPA, there has only been one fracking-related earthquake in Pennsylvania, but Nyblade believes monitoring can help improve safety.
If induced seismicity is happening, at what level is it acceptable and what level do they need to work with the operators to modify their operations or shut down their operations?
The monitoring begins at stations like this one at Penn State, one of 30 scattered across the Commonwealth.
The concrete pier here is part of a seismic station that was built when this building was built in the early 1960s. It's a concrete pier that goes down to bedrock and is decoupled from the building.
The sensors at each station record motion in 3 different directions: vertical, north-south, and east-west.
I'll do a tap on top of the pier, and that should record primarily vertical motion from the sensor, and then we can tap the side of the pier in each direction, and if I tap it correctly, then we should be able to see the larger amplitude corresponding to the direction of the tap. Again, here's the pulses from hitting it to the north and south. You can see that the north and south is a little bit bigger than the east and west component.
This 3-dimensional monitoring comes in handy when it comes time to separate earthquakes from everything else. The most common event, mine blasts.
Blasting events occur, pretty much Monday through Friday during working hours, daylight hours. They're not allowed to blast in the nighttime event. So if there is an event in the middle of the night, for example, we can immediately rule that out as a blasting event. In the daytime, if there's an event, we have to look at more of the frequency content of the waveform, the actual arrivals themselves. Real earthquakes and induced earthquakes have more impulsive arrivals, so the peaks come in sharper. The blasts are typically more emergent, so they come in a little bit slower to reach their peak amplitude.
Each event is recorded in real time and posted online. And even though magnitudes being measured aren't earth-shattering, by keeping a close eye on the little ones, scientists hope to better understand the natural world and how humans are making an impact.